Terraria has a lot of weapons, like hundreds of weapons, which can sometimes make it hard to decide which one to use. Now, if only there was a way to narrow down my options, like, oh, I don't know, maybe only using weapons from other games, perhaps. Now, if you're saying, hey, wait a minute, weapons from other games, that doesn't even make any sense. Well, let me explain. Over the years, Terraria has done crossover updates with other indie games that aim to exchange content between them, and a few of those updates have even added weapons. So today, I'm going to attempt to beat Terraria by only using those crossover weapons. Starting out the playthrough, I immediately had a problem. You see, my copper short sword that I spawned with is not, in fact, from another game, so I had to get rid of it. But then, what was I supposed to do? Without a weapon, I couldn't attack enemies, and all the weapons that I could use were locked behind enemy and boss drops. That was, except for one. My saving grace came in the form of Abigail's Flower. This weapon, added as a part of the Don't Starve crossover, has a very unique method of obtaining it. You see, unlike most weapons that are crafted or dropped by enemies, Abigail's Flower just has a rare chance of spawning as a physical object near player gravestones. So all I had to do was die a bunch in order to create a graveyard, and then AFK for long enough that a flower would spawn. Let's go! Okay, I just have to not die to the zombie. Broken? Oh. And just like that, I had my first weapon, even if it was broken. Now that I had a way of defending myself, my next objective was to begin exploring my world in search of some movement accessories and any other loot I may come across. What is this chest? What the heck am I looking at here? Step stool, big. Yeah, this is gonna make a difference. As I began exploring though, a problem quickly became apparent. Go get him. Go. Hit the dude. Why won't you? Thank you. Please, dude. This ghost is so useless! As it turned out, Abigail's Flower was a bad weapon. Like, a really bad weapon. Made even worse by the fact that mine had the broken modifier. So after quickly returning to the desert for some cactus armor, I obviously began searching for the corruption in order to get my next weapon. Wait, no, why am I exploring the underground jungle? Maybe past me knows something that I don't. Well, I guess let's see how that's going. Bruh. Yeah, I can't say that I'm surprised. But now I began looking for the corruption, because hiding within it was the tentacle spike, another weapon added by the Don't Starve crossover, and another weapon that I could simply AFK for now thanks to my ghost. Oh! Let's go! That's actually pretty lucky. That was only like 200-ish? Yeah. I have an actual weapon now, and it's not broken. Let's go. Wait, I never noticed that. My copper pickaxe is legendary? That's hilarious. With my new weapon in hand, it was time to head back to the caves. This time, I chose the snow biome, in the hope of finding a blizzard in a bottle, flurry boots, or even ice skates. But instead, the game decided to troll me with a bunch of items that I couldn't use. Bruh. I'm cooked. Okay, bro. Returning to spawn after that death, I was greeted by a second Abigail's Flower. This time though, it wasn't broken, granting me with some massive damage gains. Does it deal 2 damage now? Huge! 2 and 3, that's double the damage. While farming for the tentacle spike, I had gotten some shadow armor, so I decided to swap that out for my much weaker cactus armor, and then I returned to the ice caves in search of life crystals and chests. Finally, not 100 HP, oh my gosh. Please, Cloud in a Bottle or Hermes boots. Okay, bro. Come on, Hermes boots. Yeah, okay, I'll take it, at least it's usable. Oh my gosh. Whoa, what the? Which one is the dead man's chest? Wait, what the heck? I've never seen this before. Are they both dead man's chests? What is happening here? Okay, I'm safe, right? That one wasn't even the dead man's. Okay, so it was just a regular chest next to the dead man's? That's crazy. That one was the dead man's. Oh! This is So sad. Before my death, I had also managed to farm up enough Flinx fur to craft a Flinx fur coat, giving me an additional summon slot to boost the damage of my ghost. How much damage is it doing now? 4 to 6? No way. All right, teleportation potion. This never fails me.
Hi, how are you?
Bro, come on, man. You're really gonna do that to me in the one run I can't use it? Come on, bro. It would seem that my world had made it a mission to never stop teasing me with unusable weapons. But regardless, I pushed on. Next, returning to the underground jungle, now that I had some slightly better gear. Unfortunately, though, it went about as well as last time. I'm so cooked. Oh my god. Yo, is little homie okay? What the heck is going on there? While back at spawn, I decided it would be a good idea to construct some beautiful loft-style apartments for my NPCs to move into, sparing no expense, of course. And what do you know? It worked like a charm. After failing to get a single movement item during yet another cave dive, I was interrupted by a message that an evil presence was watching me, which just so happens to be the exact same message I receive every time I go live on Twitch. Even though I wasn't ready for a boss fight, I still tried to throw together a quick arena so that I could give the eye a shot. And well, honestly, it went better than expected. But alas, I still died. So, say it with me, it was time to return to the caves, in hopes of finally finding a singular movement accessory. Except this time, I tried to kill 2 birds with 1 stone, by starting my elevator at the same time. And it wasn't long before I managed to find a cloud in a bottle. Still no Hermes boots, but it was a start. What? What? Did I just fall into like some elaborate booby trap? What was that triple fire crossfire, bruh? Wait, I died to a boulder. I didn't even, wait, what? It was at this point that I realized I hadn't broken a shadow orb yet, so I decided to get that done real quick in order to fulfill the requirements for the goblin army to spawn. Having the ability to reforge my gear and combine accessories would help a ton with the upcoming boss fights. And it wasn't long after that I managed to find my final life crystal that I needed for maximum health. Alright, max HP, let's go. Now if only I could find some Hermes boots. Oh, ha. That works. It seemed that I had found those Hermes boots just in time, because I was immediately informed that the Eye of Cthulhu would be spawning again. So I quickly returned to the surface and attempted to expand my arena. Duh, I wasn't ready. I legitimately don't think I'm capable of waiting for this ghost to deal damage, because it will be day before this thing does any damage. It's literally dealing 1 damage to the eye. Okay, the ghost is useless. Oh, 2 damage? Okay, I take it all back. The ghost is actually cracked. Abigail's flower was once again proving to be a terrible weapon, so I was gonna have to rely on my tentacle spike to deal the majority of the damage. And thanks to its DOT effect, I began developing a sort of hit and run technique, which was working well, at least until the boss started dashing. This is when I started to formulate a new strategy. I called it running away. I discovered that by sprinting away from the boss at full speed, you'll occasionally get some hits in as it dashes behind you. And surprisingly, although this method was very slow, it did manage to get the job done. Okay, it's infinite dash, and we got him. Okay. That was an extremely scuffed boss fight, but you know what? I don't care. With my first boss defeated, it was time to take care of some chores around my world. Like finally finishing that dang boss arena, expanding my beautiful NPC apartments, and starting work on a second arena for the Eater of Worlds. But before I could make much progress in that regard, I was notified that a bunch of angry goblins were approaching from the east. Goblins, please go away. Goblins, I don't know what to say. Goblins, don't come back another day. Oh! Yeah, that was bound to happen. Fending off the waves of goblins was going well at first, but as these absolute bozo, bane of my existence goblin archers started to build up, the limited range of my melee weapon just couldn't keep up. Thankfully, I was eventually able to defeat enough goblins that they went running back to wherever the heck they came from, meaning that it was now time for the classic goblin tinkerer hunt. Yippee! Sorry, I don't know what happened there. I didn't actually have a hunter potion though, and there was no shot that I was about to farm for a shark fin with my current gear. So instead, I decided to return to the jungle in hopes of finding an anklet of the wind, the final item that I would need for lightning boots. But instead, I found a hunter potion, which I immediately drank by mistake. Oh, I did not mean to drink that. Well, I guess I'm using my hunter potion now. You know what? I don't want to die in the jungle with that. Not wanting to die in the jungle, subsequently wasting my hunter potion, I recalled to the surface and instead began searching the much safer caves around my elevator. Oh, dude, the timing on that. Oh my gosh, the hunter potion just ran out. That's crazy. Oh, godly first try? Okay, the luck is coming in right now. Thanks to the power of my newly acquired Tinkerer's Workshop, I quickly crafted a pair of Spectre boots, and then returned to my hunt for the anklet to finish off my lightning boots. And luckily, I found one pretty quickly. Well, actually I found 3 in a row. When in Rome it pours, I guess. Or, wait, Anyways, after crafting some lightning boots, I decided to use a gravitation potion that I had found to search for some floating islands. I was hoping to find a lucky horseshoe and shiny red balloon to combine with my double jump, but unfortunately I was only able to find a single chest island during the entire duration of the potion. But it did have a horseshoe, so not all was lost. Now, this next part may shock you, but I actually decided to return to the underground jungle. Again. This time, I was searching for a staff of regrowth and a fiberglass fishing pole, both of which would help me gather potion ingredients for the rest of the run. And pretty quickly, I stumbled upon these 2 chests. Nice, there we go. Now I just need a fiberglass fishing pole, which will surely be in this chest, right? Oh, let's go. Easy. Finally satisfied with my jungle looting, I returned to that Eater of Worlds arena that I had started back before the goblins arrived, and began hand mining thousands of sand blocks with my platinum pickaxe, instead of using the, I kid you not, 200 plus bombs that were sitting favorited in my inventory. No, this is not a joke, and yes, I am stupid. It seemed like this project was somewhat cursed, however, because I was once again interrupted. This time by a slime rain, culminating in my second boss fight of the run. But this fight basically just boiled down to hit the boss, let it jump over you, and repeat. So as you can probably guess, it ended without much of a struggle. And then it was back to finishing that dang arena. Thankfully though, it was pretty close to being done, so I was able to move on relatively quickly. Next, I decided to start on an herb farm, and let me just tell you now, this never gets finished. But it's the thought that counts, I guess. Anyways, next, I decided to fish for a variegated lardfish in order to craft a summoner potion. And now you may be asking, hey, wait a minute, I thought Abigail's flower was completely garbage. Why put in the effort to buff it for like 2 extra damage? And dear viewer, to that I say you were entirely correct. However, during some testing, I determined that the tentacle spike was basically a death sentence against the Eater of Worlds. I kept getting into knockback loops where the close proximity to the body would cause the vile spit projectiles to hit me over and over, eventually leading to my death. So instead, I was planning on taking the much longer and more tedious approach of letting my ghost summon deal the majority of the damage. And oh boy, was I excited. Anyways, with that summoner potion crafted, I was finally done with my preparations, so it was time to give the Eater of Worlds a try. Alright, and now we just run back and forth forever and let the ghost do things, because that's all I can really do here. And run back and forth I did, for the next 5 minutes. But eventually things started to get more interesting as the boss began breaking up into multiple segments. Oh, I split the boss. Okay. Oh, and it's split twice. Okay. You're damaging the wrong one. Hurt the smaller ones, please. Oh, okay, we've got another little mini. Oh, and another. Okay, we've got like 5 different pieces of worm now. I'm close to the point where I can just face tank this whole boss. Might be stupid doing that, but I honestly think we're about there. Nice. Okay, we got it. I saw the opportunity and I took it. Thanks to the body segments dropping hearts, I was able to use the high damage of the tentacle spike to quickly finish off what remained of the boss, unlocking the next step in my weapon journey. Meaning now's probably a good time to actually explain to you guys what my plan is. You see, pretty much all the weapons from other games can be broken into 4 progression stages. I'm currently in Tier 1, which is just all the weapons that you can get at the start of the game. And as you can see, there really aren't many options. And each of the other 3 tiers are locked behind a boss fight. So in order to progress, I was going to need to beat Deerclops, granting me access to Tier 2 weapons. But there was a problem. My current loadout sucks. Thankfully though, there's a secret Tier 1.5, which just includes the first level of Old One's Army turrets. These turrets really aren't that strong against most bosses in the game, but thankfully Deerclops doesn't move around much, making them a perfect target. And guess what? The Tavern Keeper who sells the Old One's Army gear could be found after the Eater of Worlds is defeated, which conveniently I had just done. But instead of searching for the Tavern Keeper right away, I decided to begin digging out another massive chunk of blocks by hand to make room for the Deerclops arena. I mean, like, really, am I allergic to bombs or something? I seriously do not remember why I did this. But after wasting a ridiculous amount of time on that, I finally decided to begin searching for the Tavern Keeper.
What the heck is this spider biome, bro? What am I looking at here? This is incredibly goofy. Oh! Dude, everything was just right here.
I managed to get pretty lucky and find the Tavern Keeper right away, which was a nice change of pace, especially compared to those stupid Hermes boots. And additionally, I had also found more gravitation potions in that weird spider biome, so I quickly put them to work in search of that shiny red balloon.
Wait, what the heck was that? Love is in the trash slot? Why does that sound sus?
Nice. That's what I'm talking about.
So can you not get fledgling wings out of these chests anymore? Is that a thing? Also, what did I just get? Eye of the Sun? Bro, what is all... what is all this stuff? What have they done to my Sky Island chests, man?
I also decided to quickly generate a new world to try and find a sandstorm in a bottle, in order to give myself maximum vertical movement for the upcoming Deerclops fight.
Hey, okay. That's part 1. Now part 2 is this needs to be a sandstorm in a bottle. All right, moment of truth. Oh, first try, bro. Literally, like, I spawned here and there's a sandstorm. You cannot make this up.
Luck continues to be on my side as I get a world record sandstorm in a bottle seed on my first attempt, allowing me to combine it with my balloon and horseshoe to make one of the most powerful pre-hard mode accessories. Now, there was just one thing left to do before fighting Deerclops, and that was to deal with the dreaded Old One's Army. See, if you're like me and you never use the Old One's Army items, you may not be aware, but you actually can't use the turrets outside of the event until you've beaten Tier 1, which means if I wanted to use them against Deerclops, this was a mandatory event. But there was a bit of a problem.
Dude, am I even gonna be able to beat Wave 1? Am I cooked, guys? Oh my god, what are these? Oh, I am screwed.
Yeah, shockingly, the Abigail's Flower plus Tentacle Spike combo was not really holding up against the late stages of pre-hard mode. And even with the assistance of the Flame Burst Rod, I was absolutely smoked by the Old One's Army. And honestly, I was kind of worried that this was going to be the end of my run. I mean, I could try to beat Deerclops with my current gear, but that sounded like a nightmare. Thankfully though, when the world needed him most, Keppels appeared. You see, not wanting to give up hope, I decided to look for some information on the Old One's Army. As someone who almost never does this event, I was thinking that you might be able to build traps or use lava pits to cheese the enemies. But instead, I discovered something even better. I'll just let Keppels explain.
Platforms can also be used for hoiking the enemies of this event. Hammer a solid block so the hypotenuse faces the ground towards the portal, then replace it with a platform, creating the infamous platform hoik.
That right there, that single block saved me countless hours of pain and suffering. Because, spoiler alert, I will be spending a lot more time doing this event later in the playthrough. But getting back to the present, I employed this newly discovered trick to breeze through the old one's army. Yeah, you still have to deal with the flying enemies, but by completely eliminating the threat of a ground attack, the flying guys really weren't that bad. And soon, I had won.
Oh yeah, Dark Mage is going down, baby! Sick! Alright. Tier 1 done.
In order to craft the summon for Deerclops, I needed some more Demonite, but thankfully I could just beat another Eye of Cthulhu real quick to get some. And with that, it was time to level up to Tier 2 weapons. Thankfully, Deerclops isn't actually too hard. You just have to stay within a sort of Goldilocks zone around the boss. Get too far away and it becomes invulnerable. Get too close and risk being comboed by as many different ice attacks. But stay at just the right range and you're able to dodge the boss while still dealing damage. It's honestly a really cool fight, but as you can see, this is why I needed the Flame Burst Rod. There was just no way that I could deal significant damage with the Tentacle Spike without dying. And if I waited for the ghost to deal all the damage, there probably would have been another 2-year gap in between uploads on this channel. That's not to say that the Flame Burst Rod made this fight quick, however. It still ended up taking a little over 5 minutes to finally beat the boss. But now was the moment of truth. Deerclops has 4 main drops, of which you always get 1. Lucy's axe was basically a worthless weapon, so I didn't want it. Houndius Shootius is a turret, only slightly better than the Flame Burst Rod, so that was pretty much useless as well, leaving the Weather Pane and the Pneumatic Horn. The Weather Pane is a pretty good support weapon, so I would definitely be happy to take it. But the Pneumatic Horn was a must-have, as it's pretty much the only viable weapon for getting me to hard mode. So what did I get then?
Nice. Okay, that went not bad. And I didn't get either of the weapons I wanted, so looks like we're running it back.
Whatever. This is why I crafted 3 summons after all. Time to do another 5-minute fight, and okay bro, really funny. But at least I have one more attempt. And what is this, some kind of a joke or something? 10 minutes of farming flinxes later, and I had another 3 attempts.
Dude, is this for real? Please just give me a weapon I can use. Oh my god, dude. Please. Thank you, oh my god.
I was starting to think that my game was bugged, but finally I had a usable weapon. However, I still didn't have a Pneumatic Horn, so you know what that means.
Surely this is the one, right? Nice, finally, oh my gosh, bro.
In case you weren't counting, that was 10 Deerclopses to get the one weapon that I wanted. That's 2 hours that I'll never get back. But moving past that disturbing thought, now that I had a decent ranged weapon, I wanted to get a good armor set to go along with it. So for the first time in the playthrough, I ventured into the underground desert to collect some desert fossils, which I could run through an extractinator to get sturdy fossils, which can then be crafted into fossil armor. Nice. With my fancy new armor equipped, it seemed as good a time as any to fight Skeletron. So I got to work building an arena at the dungeon, while under the constant harassment of a blood moon. But hey, at least I got a money trough. With the arena completed and another night falling, I began the fight against Skeletron. And to be honest, it was very uneventful. For the first time in this run, I actually had gear that was good for the stage of the game that I was in, which was a nice breath of fresh air. But I couldn't get too comfortable because the Pneumatic Horn was going to have to carry me all the way through the first mech boss. However, I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. For now, it was dungeon time.
Nice.
GG, my voice just died harder than Skeletron.
Were they keeping the mechanic inside spikes? That's kind of messed up, bro. Wait, hold on. What? You can get teleporters pre-hard mode? Since when? Nice, Cobalt Shield, huge. Oh, is this Rumble Grumble? Glug Glug. I don't know about that one, Chief.
Now that I had a Shadow Key, I decided to make a trip to the underworld. Even though I wouldn't be able to use any of the weapons from Shadow Chest, I was still hoping to pick up some good buff potions for the upcoming Wall of Flesh fight.
Whoa, what the heck? This is like the biggest freaking building I've ever seen in the underworld. This is insane. How many Hellforges are in here? 6? 7? This is insane. Brother. Oh, 26 gold. Man.
Accidental wall of flesh summon aside, things in the underworld were going pretty well. I had looted most of the shadow chests for resources, and had now begun clearing a path for the actual wall of flesh fight itself. My plan was to employ the water walking strategy, which if you're not familiar, basically, instead of building a long platform in the underworld to run across, you instead just drink a water walking potion and use the lava pools as solid platforms. This technique saves a ton of prep time, because you don't need to build a platform, and generally it requires less blocks to be mined away, which is good because I was once again refusing to use bombs. Like, at this point, I don't even know what to say. Having finished clearing a path across the entire left half of my world, I decided to build a couple NPC houses right on the edge, so that I could place my cavern pylon where I was planning to spawn the boss. And check it out, guys, I'm using 2 different wall types. This is, I kid you not, the most effort I put into building for this entire playthrough. Any builders watching are in fact in shambles. But moving past that, it was time to give the wall of flesh a try.
Let's do this. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, this is not looking amazing in terms of DPS. Like, I can't even break through the hungries to hit the boss, really. I can maybe try and get in a little closer to use the Inferno potion to try and kill the hungries. Okay, the DPS is looking manageable. I'm just worried I didn't clear a big enough area here. I mean, I can't even break through these dang hungries, bro. Look at this DPS, it's atrocious. Dude, I think I am jovered. I literally can't deal damage to the boss. I'm gonna need a literal full world-sized arena to kill this boss. Oh, the Inferno potion ran out. Oh no, that was gonna be my plan on dealing damage at the end. What if I just like throw random sentries? Oh, I'm out of space. This is the end of the line for me. I don't know, man.
So my first attempt didn't exactly go according to plan. I was expecting my DPS to be kinda bad, but I hadn't accounted for the fact that the hungries would spawn faster than I could kill them, essentially giving the wall of flesh a regenerating shield. So it was back to clearing more space for the fight. By hand, of course. I'm not sure how else you would do this. And once I was satisfied, it was time to try again.
I've got more space, I brought a second Inferno potion, and I forgot to buy more ammo, but I think 5,000 should be more than enough. Dude, the range on this weapon is so bad. And the damage is random. It's just like, could we have made it any worse for this boss? I don't know. Okay, at least there's a bunch of hearts from the last fight. You know what? Last fight I died on purpose to leave all these hearts for this fight. That was actually the plan all along. See if I bait, okay, I'm coming up with a next-gen futuristic Giga Brain strat. In the big areas, if you fly up enough, the hungries all try and chase you up, and then you can hit the bottom eye. Oh, it's genius, let's go.
Thanks to my newfound wiggle technique, I had actually managed to defeat the boss substantially quicker. In fact, I didn't even use the arena expansion that I had cleared out. So I guess that was a gigantic waste of time. Huh. But I wasn't too worried about it, because now it was hard mode time, which is normally when you go through a massive gear overhaul, powering yourself up for all of the harder enemies and bosses that hard mode brings, which I could still mostly do, with the exception of my weapon. You see, in order to reach tier 3 weapons, I needed to beat the ogre mini-boss from the old one's army, but the ogre won't spawn until you've defeated at least one mech boss. So now I was tasked with obtaining every possible gear upgrade that could help me defeat a mech boss with my pneumatic horn. To start, I quickly grabbed the remaining hellstone that I needed to craft a hellstone pickaxe for mining hard mode ore. Then I took a trip to the corruption and smashed some demon altars to spawn in said ore. You guys know the drill. Next though, I decided I might as well put my mining time to good use and began digging down on the right side of my world to try and find the shimmer, so that I could convert my warrior emblem into a ranger emblem. And on my way down, I collected up enough palladium to craft into my first hard mode pickaxe.
Oh nice, first try. Oh, we take those. Wait, am I taking damage right now? What is hitting me? Oh, there's an invisible guy. What the heck is going on, bro? Is it happening again? Brother. They're literally invisible. What am I supposed to do about this? There's more invisible guys. Come on, bruh. Thanks to that express trip back to spawn, I quickly crafted up a palladium pickaxe and then began my hunt for enough mithril to make a hard mode anvil and my second pickaxe upgrade. With tier 2 ore taken care of, it was finally time to start mining for enough adamantite to craft my first set of hard mode armor. And for this task, I decided to go with the underworld ash strat, which, if you're not familiar, basically, you fly along the underworld, scanning the ceiling for ore. It actually works really well because the pockets of lava illuminate most of the ash, meaning that you don't even need a splunker potion. And because the underworld is already cleared out from the wall of flesh fight, it requires very little mining. If you've never tried this method before, I would highly recommend giving it a shot in your next playthrough. Oh, I found the jackpot. This is why you do the ash strat, man. This is so good.
After crafting my set of adamantite armor, I took a trip to the newly formed hollow biome to begin farming pixie dust for some pixie wings. I generally prefer crafting these wings out of all of the starter wing options, just because you don't have to rely on a rare feather drop. It also has the added benefit of collecting unicorn horns for future crafting. And once I had enough, I just needed to farm up 20 souls of flight to finish my wings.
Oh, insta, what the heck? I wasn't ready. Oh my. Bruh. Oh, it turns out I'm actually really bad at video game. Oh, it turns out I'm actually really bad at video game, huh? This is literally like a boss fight. I do so little damage. Oh my god. Please be 20. Please be 20. 17. Nah, bruh. Okay. Mission accomplished.
With my wings crafted, the last thing that I wanted to farm up was some cursed flames, so that I could craft some better bullets to slightly boost the damage of my pneumatic horn. Now, all that was left to do was expand my platform arena, and then it was finally time to take on a mech.
Alright, here we go. Twins time. Let's buff up, and first boss hard mode. Hopefully this goes well. Okay, that is not a good sign. Bruh. I'm literally throwing. Okay, can we stop getting hit by every spaz projectile, please and thank you?
For my first mech boss, I chose the twins, mainly just because they felt like they'd be the easiest to defeat with my current weapons. And keep in mind, I didn't just have to worry about dying here. The mech bosses are also on a timer. If I'm not able to deal enough damage before the night ends, it's over. But after doing some testing, I was pretty confident that the twins would be doable. My strategy for this fight was pretty standard. Start by focusing all your damage on spaz, making sure that you don't get them both in phase 2 at the same time, and then once spaz is gone, you can finish off ret. The only problem was just how long the fight took due to my subpar damage. But to give the pneumatic horn some credit, it definitely could have been worse.
Rednizer, die, bro. Just die, bro. It's over, bro. Accept it, man. We've been here for, what, 6 minutes? Oh my gosh. Okay, that was super annoying, but we got there. Okay, you know what, actually? I still have all my buffs, so I should probably just go and do... Wait, hold on. Where is little bozo? Down there, right?
What Past Me is trying to say is that right before I entered hard mode, I had farmed up enough metals to purchase a tier 2 sentry ahead of time. And now that I had defeated a mech boss, I could spend them.
We officially have our first new weapon in like 15 hours of gameplay, bro. Oh my god. And now, while I still have some buffs, let's go attempt to get an actual weapon upgrade.
Thanks to the platform hoik trick, level 2 of the Old One's army was largely the same as before, although everything did take a lot longer to kill. The one enemy that did give me some trouble was these glide bombers, but so long as I was paying attention, I was able to keep most of them away from the crystal.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure the ogre gets trapped by the hoik. If it doesn't, then I'm in trouble. Okay, it does. Amazing.
Yes, you did see that correctly. Unlike the Dark Mage of level 1 or Betsy of level 3, the Ogre is actually susceptible to the platform hoik, which is really good because I probably wouldn't have had enough DPS otherwise. This essentially means that tier 2 of the Old One's army is a cakewalk, and I'm free to farm it a few times until I've collected both the Tome of Infinite Wisdom and the Phantom Phoenix. The Phantom Phoenix I'll get to later, but for now I wanted to convert to a basic mage build, because I had heard that the Tome of Infinite Wisdom absolutely shreds the Destroyer, and as far as I can remember, I've never actually tried that strategy before, so I figured this would be a good of time as ever to give it a shot.
Come on, give me a good drop, give me a good drop. Tome of Infinite Wisdom or whatever it's called. I didn't actually see. Ah, what is this? What is this? What'd we get? Oh, hey, we got it. Let's go. Oh my gosh, I actually deal damage, bro. This is so nice. What the heck, man? I'm so used to not dealing any damage. This is insane. Did that guy just drop Unicorn on a Stick and Blessed Apple? Whoa. The chosen one, okay. Okay, let's do this. Destroyer, and I've actually got a weapon from hard mode. So, wow, actually, yeah. Not only do I have a weapon in hard mode, this thing is kind of killing it. Bro, okay. Let's not get hit by the head. That would be good. And let's take out all these probes, because probes are stupid. I want to try and get the little tornado things to fall down through the body if I can. The more hits I get in, the better. Especially since I really don't have that much mana here, so I want to try and, like, conserve it as best I can. Why are there all these enemies, bro? I'm used to modded when there aren't freaking 10,000 enemies spawning during a boss fight. Like, literally, look at this, dude. There's demon eyes, there's zombies, there's possessed armor. Like, this is ridiculous. Actually, though, oh my gosh, I just looked at the health. Dude, Destroyer is getting destroyed. Oh yeah, get the overlap in. Oh my gosh, dude. That was like the quickest fight ever. What? Yeah, so unlike the Twins fight, which took over 6 minutes, the Destroyer took around 1. I think it was pretty safe to say that the Tome of Infinite Wisdom is indeed a good Destroyer strategy. And with that win, I had now defeated 2 out of the 3 mech bosses, and had enough hollowed bars to craft a set of armor. For the helmet, I chose Ranger, because going forward, I was planning on using the Phantom Phoenix. Now, this was another weapon that I had never actually used before, so I quickly ventured to the jungle and finally fought Queen Bee, just to try it out. Now, the dual firing arrows are good and all, but what I quickly discovered is that the real power comes from the Phoenix projectile that fires out every 3 shots. It took a bit to get used to the aiming of the weapon, because the arrows in the Phoenix have different velocities and drop, but once you do get the hang of it, this thing is actually quite strong. Which is good, because it was going to have to last me all the way through Golem. I'm starting to notice a trend here. Satisfied with the performance of my new weapon, I returned to base and began making some final preparations for the Skeletron Prime fight. But while searching through my beautifully organized storage system, I was ambushed by a pirate invasion. Arr, matey. Shiver me timbers, or something. Oh. Oh god, there's a ghost! I'm scared of those. No, 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 no. I'm on no health. In my health bar, 1 bullet's all it takes to end my life. Oh my gosh. They're freaking sniping me, bruh. They're freaking sniping me, bruh. Ugh. They plundered all my booty. Arr. Matey. I fit right in. Oh my gosh. I forgot how annoying the pirates are, bro. 13 health? Yeah, I don't need more than that. Ugh. It turns out I needed more than that. Okay, we did it. We have successfully completed the pirate invasion.
With the pirates taken care of, it was finally time to finish off the mech bosses. And if I'm being honest with you, this fight was extremely uneventful. Thanks to my weapon actually being good, it was basically just like any other Prime fight. And before long, he was defeated.
Wait, what? This isn't a minecart anymore? Permanently grants boosted speed and defensive probe for minecarts. Oh. Oh, and you still get the mechanical cart as well. Huh, okay.
I next ventured to the underground jungle to mine some chlorophyte, as well as search for life fruit.
Is that a mimic? That feels like a mimic. Yeah, you're not fooling anybody, little homie. Guys? You can't keep spawning on honey. Chests don't spawn on honey. You guys are not fooling anybody with this.
I was having a hard time finding life fruit, and there didn't seem to be any Plantera bulbs either. So I just decided to build myself a bedroom at spawn and speed up time for a while by sleeping in bed. And when I finally returned to the jungle, I was quickly rewarded with a Plantera bulb. So I began working on clearing out an arena for the fight. And oh my gosh, can you guys believe it? I finally decided to use some explosives. Oh, and I'm back to the pickaxe.
No, dude, what is... Oh, okay. That's a generational fumble, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, I'll just, no arena, no buffs, half HP start. Beat Plantera here, easy peasy. I do love that there's just random blocks everywhere that are blocking me and my arrows. Yeah, that's a little sketch. That's a little sketch. Get off my face. Dude, if only I had an actual arena, huh? If only I had an actual arena, this might be doable. Dude, like, oh, that's so cringe, dude. I'm actually cringing out of my mind right now, bro.
With that fumble out of the way, I returned to finish up the arena. Thankfully, there was another bulb nearby, so it really wasn't too bad. I also used the extra chlorophyte that I got from clearing out the arena to finish off my armor set. And with these upgrades complete, it was time to give Plantera another shot.
Come here, Plantera. Any day now. Yep. Right. Okay, here we go. Oh, right, I have these fancy arrows as well. Oh, yeah, look at that DPS. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Oh my gosh, it's not even close, bro. She's getting melted. I mean, there's still phase 2. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. There's still phase 2. Nothing will quite beat the flamethrower against this, but okay, actually, okay. Let's chill out, actually. Okay, hold on, actually. Chill. Everybody chill. I'm actually turbo bad at this fight, it would seem. Let's just, okay. Don't throw. All right, that was a little bit closer than it probably should have been, but whatever. Now
that Plantera was taken care of, I was able to enter the jungle temple. Although I had some new gear unlocked, I wanted to give Golem a try first to gauge how difficult the fight would be with my current weapons. I definitely didn't just forget that Shroomite armor is a thing. No. I have thousands of hours in this game. Certainly I wouldn't forget something like that. Never.
Oh, whoa, what the heck? I didn't know that chests could spawn outside the door. Wait, that's kind of crazy, right? Oh my god, this Golem arena is actually possibly the worst thing I've ever seen. I mean, look at this, dude. Am I just used to modded? Like, what is this stupid arena, bruh?
Terrible arena aside, I went ahead and gave Golem a try. And well, it did not go very well. But thankfully, after this fight, I remembered, I decided to get some Shroomite armor. First though, I needed to get a truffle to move in, so I added some mud and mushroom grass seeds to a nearby floating island, and then began building some additional housing so that the backlog of NPCs waiting to move in wouldn't take my truffle's house. Next, while waiting for the truffle to arrive, I went around gathering up as many glowing mushrooms as I could find. And right on time, there's the truffle. So after buying myself an auto hammer, I returned to the shimmer to turn my chlorophyte armor back into bars. And let me just say, this is such a nice feature to add to the game. This is actually my first time using shimmer this way, with me not playing much after it was added and all. And man, did it save me a lot of time mining. But with that done, now all that was left was a bit of crafting. Before returning to the Golem fight though, I quickly did some ingredient collection in order to craft up some buffs. And then it was time to give the fight another shot. Ooh, well, that could have gone better. And my next attempt wasn't looking great either. But this is where I employed the ancient strategy of not attacking. You see, during each of Golem's phases, his fire rate gets faster and faster as his health is depleted. So by simply not attacking right after the phase change, I can dodge the easier part of the fight while regaining my health. And after doing this for a while, I felt confident enough to continue the fight. And believe it or not, it actually worked.
Please just die. I don't want to have to deal with this boss anymore. Thank you. Oh my god. Hey, at least I got a Pixaw, right? And actually, Eye of Golem plus Pixaw, those are like the two useful items. You know what? At least Golem gave me some good item luck at the end of the day.
With Golem defeated, it meant that I was now just a single boss away from unlocking my final tier of weapons. The only problem is, that boss is Betsy, and I basically never fight her. Like, I'm not sure I've ever fought Betsy while not extremely overgeared with endgame items. So this was gonna be interesting. Thankfully though, due to all of my previous Old One's army farming, I already had enough defender's medals to pick up a flame burst staff, and the platform hoik trick still worked on most of the enemies. But I was quickly given a wake up call when in wave 2, these Etherean lightning bugs blast right through my defenses and quickly bring me down to 80 health. With them taken care of though, I managed to get things back under control, and before long, Betsy had arrived.
Okay, so let's see. How much damage do I deal to Betsy? Why is she so aggroed on the crystal? I feel like the crystal's just gonna get cooked here, no? Like there's so many of these wyvern things spawning. The crystal's on half HP already. What do I do about this? Okay, so what did we learn from that? Betsy as a boss is not really that threatening. I'm not super worried about killing Betsy. What I am definitely worried about is the fact that all of the little flying minions insta-kill the crystal.
With my first attempt not even coming close, it was time to do some theory crafting. My first idea was to try what I've heard referred to as a mana cheese. You see, normally any of this Etherean mana that you don't spend on turrets is simply deleted when the event is over. By stashing it in a chest, you can carry it over between events. This allows you to build up a massive amount of turrets all at once. Unfortunately though, I made the mistake of opening the chest outside of the event. Now, if we look at the footage slowed down, you can actually see that all of the mana gets deleted when the chest is opened. But at the time, I didn't notice and just assumed that this exploit had been patched out of the game. So I ended up not using it. But to be honest with you, I'm kinda glad I didn't. Because while farming up all that mana, I had begun formulating a new plan. You see, originally I had been stacking up most of my turrets by the portals to quickly take out all the enemies as they spawned. But it occurred to me that the speed that you take those guys out doesn't really matter. They're not an actual threat to the crystal with the platform hoik, but the flying enemies are a threat. So I started moving more of my turrets towards the center of the arena, but I still had a problem. They have terrible aim. To get around this, I added an additional layer of platforms and staggered some of the turrets to it. This seemed to help with their accuracy somewhat, and with this new turret layout, I managed to get Betsy down to 6,000 health before the crystal died. So I figured that if I simply went into the fight with a full set of buffs, it would probably be enough. And well, I was right.
Yeah, I think I got it here. Please? Nice, she's dead. Let's go. Oh my god. So annoying. I bet you the crystal was like 0 HP too. Oh, that was so painful. Okay. No, 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 no. Literally just no. Just no. Okay, give me a good weapon. Oh, actually clutch? Hold up. Wait, actually unironically kind of clutch though? I'm turbo cooked. That was actually pretty close though.
So, as you may have been able to notice, I was a little preoccupied at the time, making my reaction a bit underwhelming. But that right there is actually the single best thing that I could have gotten from Betsy. As you can see, compared to all of my previous weapons, the Aerial Bane felt the most like I was actually powerful. Like, challenge aside, this is just a really good weapon. And once again, I've never used it before. It also just so happens to be another bow, so I didn't even have to change my loadout, which was an extra level of convenience. I did, however, decide to head to the dungeon in order to get a rifle scope, which I then combined with my newly acquired Destroyer emblem to craft the sniper scope. And that's super cool and all, but prepare for this item to literally never be used. Like, I put it in my vanity slot and just never equip it. Honestly, I don't even know why I went out of my way to craft it, but whatever. Next, I ran another Old One's army in hopes of getting Betsy's wings, another item which I don't think I've ever used before, but I figured it would just make sense for this challenge.
Alright, give me the wings. Oh, dude, let's go. I got the sword and the wings, that's huge.
It would seem that Betsy was rewarding me for finally giving her event a shot. And let me tell you, I am not complaining, because at this point, I was almost ready to fight Moonlord. First though, there was some preparations to be done. I started by fishing for some buffs, and then I expanded my sky platform to make more room for the fight. And for some reason, the Martian Madness just really wanted to spawn. Like, I feel like I can never find a probe when I actually want one, but as soon as I'm trying to get some work done, there's like all-you-can-eat probes or something.
Oh my gosh, how many of these freaking probes are gonna spawn, dude? Dude, for real, what is happening? Yeah, I think I'm getting pranked right now. Bro, dude, they are really trying, man. Dude, is my game bugged? I have never seen this many probes before. What is going on? I mean, like, literally, bro, what is happening?
Thankfully, I was able to avoid an unwanted Martian event, and soon returned to the dungeon, this time in search of a tabby, which I was able to get pretty quickly. Next, it was finally time to fill out my life fruit, which ended up being pretty easy, as over the past few hours of gameplay, a bunch had spawned. And as my final task, I wanted to get a life force potion, which required some more fishing. Now that I had everything ready, it was time for the Cultist.
You guys ever think about how the legs of the unicorn running kind of just looks like noodles flopping around? Like, those don't look like legs, bro. I don't know what's going on there. Alright, Cultist. Let's see how this goes. I just took, like, freaking 200 damage to the Cultist Guardian Bozo, bro. Okay, it's been a hot minute since I fought Vanilla Cultist. What is this again? You have to, like, watch out for the illusion, right? Yeah, here we go. You're real. Outplayed. Ouch! Oh, he's doing the shadow balls. Not the freaking shadow balls, man. Which one's real? Top again? Oh my gosh. Dude, that slime just juked me themselves by jumping over me. That was crazy. Alright, homie, you have 800 health. Let's just get this over with. Thank you.
With Lunatic Cultist defeated, all that was left was to fight the pillars, which, let's be honest, is extremely boring. So let's just skip to the Moonlord fight. Drink the life force potion early because I have to heal up. Might as well drink the regen as well. Oh, okay, that was it. Here we go. All right, let's buff up and let's do this. Moonlord time. Okay, so I am a little rusty. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but hopefully this weapon can carry us. Gotta wait for the eye. Okay, the eye's open, and then here's the beams. We fly up and over. He's gonna shoot. Yeah, okay, well, I said what he was doing, and then I got hit by it anyways. Classic, classic. If you guys are ever struggling with this fight, it's actually very telegraphed. There's a single shot from one of the hands here. That's when the top eye opens, so you know to start targeting the top eye. And then there's that double shot there, which means he's about to beam, so get ready. Then there's the beam, and you can just fly over. And it literally repeats that pattern for the entirety of phase 1 until the core opens. It's actually really, really straightforward. We're actually getting the eyes pretty low here, dude. This bow is so good. I've never used this bow, man. I don't know why. I guess because I never fight Betsy. Alright, so at this point, I should probably stop hitting this here in a second. What are we at? 2,000, 1,000? Yeah, okay, let's stop. Top eye's also pretty low, so as soon as we get the right eye here a little down. Okay, next open here, I think I just go for it. Yep, okay, there goes the top eye. Now, okay. Oh, and the left eye already died. Okay, nice, 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 nice. So, I gotta try and stay away from the beams. They're kind of hard without a Rod of Discord, but yeah, yep. What did I say, bro? You have to, like, hit the perfect distance where you can still hit the core. Like, this is pretty good. You hit the core, but the beams are just far enough that they don't hit you. Okay, this is looking pretty good, guys. I don't want to jinx it. I don't want to jinx it, but this is looking pretty good. Honestly, dude, the Ariel's Bane is kind of slapping. I've never, literally, I think this is my first time ever using this weapon. But it is absolutely slapping. It's almost as good as the Vortex Bow. And bam, just like that, guys, we did it. Oh my gosh, dude, the Ariel Bane is really good. Wow. That was, I mean, dare I say that was almost easy? I did put in a lot of prep to make sure that fight went well. To be fair, I put in a lot of prep, but I mean, I cannot discredit the Ariel Bane. This thing is actually really good. Such a breath of fresh air compared to the rest of the playthrough. Like, when you compare the beginning, especially with that stupid tentacle spike in Abigail's Flower, oh my god, Abigail's Flower did no damage, bro. Like, this thing is actually unironically really good. And just like that, Terraria had been beaten while only using weapons from other games. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to subscribe so you're notified when I upload more like it in the future. But with that out of the way, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time.